part of the session because this session is going longer than I normally go, but I thought it was very important for us to tackle this tonight. So I said that we got to do both sessions. Second session is about moonlighting to side hustling. I laugh. The evolution of multiple streams of income. I laugh because you have to be of a certain age to even know what moonlighting is. The term moonlighting is a funny thing. When I started out my career in finance, it was not it was not by choice. It was something that, I was blessed enough to get an internship in and fall into it. But it was not even anything I wanted to do. I wasn't interested in finance. I loved the lifestyle. I wanted to be on Wall Street and all that, but I didn't really want to be. I didn't really want to do the work on Wall Street. I just wanted to live the lifestyle because I was a musician and an artist trying to make it, and I was a creative person. That's what I really wanted to do. But we ain't have no money. We were broke. So you had to make money to get, if you wanted to be in a studio, well, studio costs money. And unless you were signed to a major record label or something, well, you're going to have to pay for it yourself. So you had to make money during the day to moonlight at night to do what you want to do. So what everybody had, hear the term side hustle today, back 2 decades ago, it was called moonlighting. So let's talk about something that that people used to whisper about. It's something that we once lived in the shadow with. It wasn't something that you had out in the open. It was called moonlighting. 2 decades ago, if someone found out that you had a job outside of your main source of income, they would raise their eyebrows. They would frown their faces. What are you doing? Co-workers, if they knew, they would judge you. Society will question as a whole your loyalty to what you do. But today, it went from moonlighting to side hustle. I always tell everybody, my generation, we coined the phrase side hustle. Because back in the day, that term wasn't a good term. If someone used that term, this is my side hustle, that was frowned upon. That was like, well, what are you doing? It has to be something nefarious. It has to be something that's not legit, when it means that I'm doing other things. What I'm doing is I'm doing what I gotta do during the day, and I'm doing what I want to do during the night in hopes and belief and having faith that one day what I want to do will turn into what I'm doing during the day. That's the bottom line. So not only if the term side hustle accepted in today's environment, it's celebrated. So what changed? Did the work change? Or did the world change? The world changed. So tonight we're going to dive into a deep dive into the evolution from moonlighting to side hustling. And what is it in this era? The era of multiple streams of income, and where multiple streams of income is no longer optional. They are, in fact, essential right now. So it's not even essential just for the things that I want to do. For a lot of people, it's essential for survival, for comfort, for freedom, for your dreams, for your legacy. We going there. Let's go to work. So what moonlighting meant back then, let's say in the early 2000s and before that, moonlighting meant you worked your primary job, and then under the cover of night, you worked another job. The word itself implies secrecy. Moonlighting. light at night, in the shadows, in the dark, after hours, quietly. There was almost a, in reality, there was almost a shame attached because there were two sides to it. There was moonlighting, whereas someone is doing what they want to do, perhaps, or what they have to do. And then there was that shame aspect of, oh, you need a second job. Oh, you need multiple jobs. Like your job that you have, the 9 to 5 is not enough. There was that connotation and that shame put on people back then. Ignorance. Why? Because society sold us an idea that one good job, that should be enough. That's good enough. The American dream is linear. Here we go. You graduate, you get hired, you work 40 to 30 years, 30 to 40 years, huh? And then you retire with a pension. That system worked for some time. But here's the truth. It worked when housing was affordable. It worked when healthcare didn't bankrupt families. It worked when college tuition didn't look like a mortgage payment. It worked when pensions actually existed. But over time, that very system eroded, non-existent. And the shame of moonlighting slowly turned into a necessity. Not just survival, but now something I have to do. So let's reflect on that and ask a question. Was I ever taught to rely on one income, that one job was good enough? Was I ever told having more than one stream of income meant instability? Did I grow up believing that security meant loyalty to one employer? That's part of a societal mindset. They put that on people to think that you got to be loyal to this job, when I can guarantee you there is not one company that is loyal to its employees. You can see right now, you can read the paper of how many people are downsizing and being laid off. They're loyal to their bottom line, and their bottom line is not you. So just breathe and take that in for a moment and think about those things, because the rise of the side hustle is not going to be just something someone do. It's going to be essential to your future planning. So let's fast forward today. We live in an era, as I just mentioned, we're in the thrust of the information age with digital platforms, remote work. Okay, listen. I was working remotely like 20 years ago. when people was thinking, oh, you ain't got a job, you ain't doing nothing, And then the pandemic come along, and everybody's working remotely. Everybody is experiencing what I was experiencing every day. E-commerce, personal branding, content creation, gig economy. These are all things that are common terms nowadays. The term side hustle exploded into mainstream culture. And it's not just something that is whispered about anymore, but it's now worn as a badge of honor. Why? Because people woke up. And they woke up to one important thing. And I could just say that coming out of the pandemic, this is probably one of the most important things that happened, is that people started to realize what really mattered. I matter. My time matter. My self-worth matter. And we seen that liberation happen. And if that was, one of the positive results of it, so be it. Because they realized that one stream of income is really a single point of failure. And in an economy where Layoff happens overnight. It's happening every day. AI has shifted industries. Inflation rises faster than wages. Multiple stream of income is not just a greedy act, it's a wise one. So let's define that very clearly. Moonlighting was about survival. Side hustling is about strategy. Moonlighting was reactive. Side hustling is proactive. Moonlighting hid in the dark. Side hustling is built in the light. And there's a difference in energy about as you go about those two type of mindsets, really mindset. Your energy is very different when you feel like you got to hide something. Whereas when you're doing something with clarity and confidence, and you're celebrating that, oh, after I left my job, I went and did this podcast. And this is my passion to share information and help others grow. There is no greater feeling in the world. There is no greater feeling. It's called priceless. There is no amount of money you can put on it. Let's keep going. So why does multiple streams of income? Why is it imperative in today's environment? Let's be, again, very practical. You need multiple streams of income today because inflation doesn't sleep and it doesn't stop. The cost of living consistently and constantly is rising. It's rising year over year. Rent is increasing. Groceries is increasing. Insurance is increasing. But your salary is not. And it's not keeping pace. Does the inflation. So maybe if you're lucky, 2 to 3% raise. That's if you're fortunate. If you're fortunate at getting a consistent raise year over year. We just had nurses go on strike. They had to strike, and they would strike for almost a month or a little over a month because they wasn't getting increases. You know, it happens every day. So that gap between the cost of living and your income has to be filled in some way, somehow, some shape or form. Well, how is going to be done? Job security of days going by is today is just an illusion. Companies restructure all the time. Industries automate themselves all the time. Departments disappear all the time. Loyalty doesn't always equate protection. Quick story. I remember I was young then. I was in a bank, supervisor, and I helped automate a process. And it was a process that saved the company money. And then this department that we had, all these employees, it went down to a certain level of employees to get the same amount of productivity and all of this. And I just thought that I was going to get promoted and I was going to be celebrated. And I was promised all those things. And after they successfully transformed the department, I got a layoff notice, like everybody else. I essentially automated myself out of a job. Happens all the time. So there is no such thing as loyalty as protection. If you're going to be anything, be loyal to your future, to your family, to your legacy, and to where you want to go. So your protection and that mindset must be diversified. There must be diversification in that mindset. Why? Because dreams requires capital. So you be honest with yourself. Your dream costs money. If your dream is to do something greater, start a business, costs money. If I want to be a well-seasoned investor, costs money. I want to be a globetrotter. I want to travel. I want to see all 4 corners of the world, costs money. Funding your children's education more than ever costs money. Building legacy for your family, leaving something behind for the next generation costs money. Your primary job may sustain you and pay your bills, but your side stream of funds is going to be there to fund your vision and your goals and your passion. And there's nothing wrong. And don't let anyone make you think that there's something wrong with that. You have life. You have dreams. I always talked about this in my professional development session. I don't care what company you work for, whether it's a mom and pop company or it's a company, excuse me. I don't care what company you work for, whether it's a mom and pop company or a company that is a multinational or a Fortune 100 company. I can guarantee you the company started with a dream. The founders of that company have a dream. Let's start this company. This is what we can do. It can be successful. So when you're working in that company, whether the founders are living or long gone, you are working within somebody else's dream. The question of today, because there's nothing wrong with that. We all have to have a job at some point. Nothing wrong with that. The question is, when are you going to start working on your dream? I'm going to leave you with that question. And you can take as much time as you need in your lifetime to answer that one. Moving on, because we're in mindset shift. Here's where we're going to get a little deeper as you ponder that question. The biggest shift that you can take in your life isn't a financial shift. That has an effect on your life. But the biggest shift you can take in your life is a psychological one. Psychological shift. Why? Because your old mindset is going to tell you things like, if I have a side hustle, it means that my job is not enough. That's old way of thinking. New mindset is, if I have a side hustle, it means I'm building options. And right now we want options more than ever. Options equals freedom. Freedom reduces stress. And having stress reduction, that improves your quality of life. Not only your quality of life that you live externally, but your quality of your health life. So let's reframe that. You are not disloyal for building something else. You are responsible. You are not scattered. You are strategic. You are not greedy. You're expanding. And that's what we all should be doing, expanding and growing. So let's pause for this question. What would an additional $1,000 a month do for you? What talent have I ignored that can generate income? Am I waiting for permission to build something, to do something, to start something? Sit with those thoughts and let that sink in for a moment. Because in this environment, you should be asking yourself those questions every single day. Every single day that you're not taking action and acting on it, you should be asking yourself that question. And the reason why is based off of the conversation where we started. We live in an information age. We started with a question from the last session. Should I rely on ChatGPT if I don't know? Well, that is information in your hand. The question is not, should I rely on that or not? The question is, what are you doing with the information? The information is in your hands. Think about what you can do with it. There are 3 types of side hustle. Let's break them down quickly. Survival hustler, need extra income to stay afloat. Nothing wrong with that. That anyone could be in that situation where you're not making enough and or you're overextended. You know, your expenses are too high. Whatever the case may be, if you're in that mode, you don't want to stay in that position forever. You want to work yourself through and work your way out of that. Strategic building. Use extra income to do what? To pay down debt, to invest, to save, and to acquire assets. When and where you can do that. This is where power is built. The dream architect. You have to be the architect of your dreams. Use side income to fund your passion projects. Dream, keep dreaming, dream big. Anybody know I'm on a journey, and I'm on a journey of possibilities. I believe that anything is possible, not only for myself, but for anybody, anyone who believes. So invest in yourself, invest in your dream, your passion project, whether it be a book, whether it be a business, whether it be a creative venture, whether it be real estate, whether it be building legacy assets that you can leave for the next generation to build upon. Do it. Why? Because this is where transformation in your life happens. So you have to figure out for yourself which one is for you. Which one are you? Which one are you working on? Now, we're gonna focus on the flip side of side hustling. If you think about it, and I've been doing this for decades. You have a 9 to 5, but do you have something else? The flip side of that is you have to be able to balance it, because if you don't balance it, it'll lead to burnout, and burnout is real as a heart attack. It's real. So let's address the perils and the realities of multiple streams of income. Multiple streams can turn into multiple stress points. The goal isn't exhaustion. The goal is having leverage. You don't need 5 or 6 or 7 hustles. You just need 1 or 2 strategic ones that is playing a part in your overall goals and your overall dreams and ambition. And those strategic ones should align with your skill. They should move towards ownership and you being the owner of whatever you're trying to do. And it should not, and don't let it can happen in time, but it should not drain you and deplete you. Excuse me. Something is not happening right if it's depleting you. If you feel unhappy, dissatisfied, and we're talking about with your multiple streams or your side hustle, then you're doing something wrong, because that is not the goal of it. The goal is to go do something that you really want to do outside of what you have to do. So remember, a side hustle should fuel you, not fracture you. Having long-term vision. So imagine this, 5 years from now, if you start to build your multiple streams of income, where will you be? You've built a secondary stream of income. Investments are generating return. You have your emergency savings. And now you have what we call optionality. Add that to the lexicon. Optionality. You can do what you want when you want. You're no longer in a position of desperation. You are now deliberate. That changes your position, change how you negotiate, change your negotiation stance. How do you choose? How you live? Multiple streams of income create emotional stability. Emotional stability creates clarity. Keywords: freedom, clarity, passion, dreams, possibilities. This is what it's all about. So let me leave you with this. Moonlighting once meant survival in silence. Side hustler now means strategy in strength. Don't let the old narrative limit your modern wisdom. This is not about chasing money. This is about building margins. Margins give you breathing room. Margins give you dignity. Margins give you dreams and ability to dream. And you deserve that. Each and every one of you deserve it. Start where you are. Start small, but start smart. But nevertheless, start something. Because one stream of income pays the bills, but multiple streams of income builds a life. So one final reflection for you all. Ask yourself this and take this into the weekend. What skills do I have? What problem can I solve? What value can I create? And what would my life look like if I stopped depending on one open door and build my own door, build my own hallway? What would my life look like? If this made sense to you, as much as it makes a whole lot of sense to me, then share it with someone and reflect on it and act on it. I am D. Wilder, and this is Financial Fitness Friday. And I hope that this message has made a difference for someone. Because I want you to remember, you are not just designed to survive. You are designed to expand, grow, and live your life to its fullest potential. You were born to win. If this message means something to someone, if it's made a difference, then please share it with someone and let them know that their dreams, their goals are possible. In parting, stay rooted, stay blessed, and keep living your life with kindness, clarity, and purpose. I am D. Wilder. This is Financial Fitness Friday, focusing on financial fitness for the future. I bid you all peace and blessings. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. Have a wonderful weekend, you guys. Thank you.
You shut down all the devices.